want to go for a walk by any chance? Yeah, you did. Hello everyone, welcome to Walks with Moss. Look under here. Don't stomp on them, Bella. Please don't stomp on them. We've got some umbilical hedgehogs. Ow, ow, ow. Please, Bella, please. We've got some umbilical hedgehogs right there. Oh, you okay, buddy? Yeah, I know. You want to go hiking. Let's go. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Bella. Okay. We are going to try our walk to the duck blind again. It's December 31st. It's a weekday. I had a long conversation with that duck hunter that I ran into. But first, here's some clavulina. And that duck hunter told me that it's only on the weekends. And also, if I see a truck parked there, then I'll know someone's duck hunting too. So, we're gonna walk down there, try to do our 2-mile, 3 times a week hike, and go down and have a cup of tea and take in the view. And hopefully there's nobody duck hunting. And duck hunting season ends January 30th, so after that we should be good to go. So let's see if we can try this hike again, and hopefully it's a little bit less people-y. And I can show you this beautiful area. Let's go do it. And let's see how many mushrooms we can find. Those hedgehog mushrooms are just basically right out my front door. And I'm waiting for them to grow just a little bit more. I know about how big they will get, so I'm waiting for them to grow to their full size before I pick them. It sure is nice to have my own private hedgehog spot. Here's a Dyer's polypore. I've been watching it for a while. It's starting to rot now. Phaleus schwinnitzii. It's growing at the base of fairly young Douglas fir. This is just a second growth tree farm here. I'd expected to see it around older trees, but you never know. There's a Swillis that's fallen over. I think maybe Swillis lakei. When I saw that duck hunter's truck there on the last video, I thought he was fishing because he had a sticker on the back of his truck that said Rain Shadow Rod Blanks. And that's a really nice brand of fishing rod. So it made sense to me that he was fishing. And then Bella rushed down there ahead of me. And then I heard his dog barking, but it sounded like it was in the distance. So I didn't worry too much. And it was in the distance because he was on the other side of the lake from me. And then I got all the way down there and see the guy duck hunting, and by then it's too late because Bella's already been all running through there. If there were any ducks, they were long gone. So it made sense to stay there for a minute and have a conversation with the guy. And his decoy ducks looked so real. It took me a little while to figure out that they were decoys. I should have known. But the way he was yelling at me and carrying on, and I couldn't quite register that, you know. And I'm thinking, well, I guess those aren't the kind of ducks he wants to shoot. He's waiting for some other duck. Then eventually I sussed it out. Those are his decoys. I've got some water on my property. A part of it that's underwater for about 6 months out of the year. I want to get some decoy ducks to put in that water, just to watch them float around and maybe to attract wild ducks that I can look at. This is green diamond land, and it's not part of their permit system. So you don't have to... Ooh! What was that? Is that an owl? That's a big bird, and it didn't make any noise whatsoever when it took off, which makes me wonder if it's an owl. Let's see if we can get another peek at that bird. Bella, come back, honey. Come back. Come on, sweetheart. Bella is under excellent voice control. One of the many things I love about this dog. So I'll just hold on to her collar as we approach where that bird was. Maybe we can get another glimpse at it. I mean, maybe it was just like a hawk, but its flight was absolutely silent, so I wonder if it was an owl. I only saw it from behind. It was just up here a little ways. There it goes. Oh my gosh, I think it is an owl. Oh, how cool is that? Maybe my daily dog walks won't be so boring. Yeah, I think I saw some like stripes on it. And this camera isn't going to pick it up very well. You'll just see a brown blur probably, but wow, that is really cool. That's the first wildlife encounter I've had out here. Very cool. Okay, so as I was saying, Green Diamond set off a whole bunch of their tree farms as part of their pay-to-play system, where you have to pay to have a permit to get in. Even to walk in, you have to pay. But this is one of the last few remaining areas where they haven't done that. You don't need a permit. Anyone can walk here. But I think the people that are in the duck hunting club, they're all either Green Diamond employees or family of Green Diamond employees or ex-Green Diamond employees, and they have keys to every Green Diamond gate, and they don't have to buy the access pass, and they can come in here and build their duck blinds and set up their schedules. But what they can't do is tell me I can't be here, because it's not an area where you need a permit. But obviously, if someone's duck hunting, I'm not going to disturb them. I'm not going to try to ruin their duck hunt, even though I really love ducks. So I won't disturb them if I know they're there. But that guy was kind of BSing me about this lake is a duck club. No, this lake is not a duck club. This lake is a tree farm, and employees of the tree farm company formed a duck club. Here's the tire tracks from last time, and there are no fresh tracks, so I'm pretty confident that we're going to have the duck blind to ourselves today. Yay! Bella is acting like there's something going on down here. Hopefully it's just an animal and not people. As soon as we round this corner, we'll find out if we're alone. I really think we are alone today, though. I really do. Let's see. No truck here, so we should be alone. This is where the guy was parked last time. So unfortunately, my rubber boot has a hole in it. And it's still wet from the last time. So I've already got a wet left foot. And now it's just going to get a little bit wetter maybe. Okay, here we go. Here's our goal. Here's our little lake. Oh, and there goes some duck-like creatures. The hunter was set up over there on the far shore with all those little decoys in front of him. So here we are. The hunter also said that this canoe belongs to the duck hunting club. I'm very tempted to come down here with a life jacket and go for a, did I say canoe? Rowboat. And go for a rowboat ride. So, to my plan for fighting seasonal affective disorder. There is a sea of bog laurel or Labrador tea here. And Labrador tea is supposed to have some medicinal qualities. It's supposed to help a little bit with the blues. Walking also helps with the blues. And being in nature helps with the blues, especially if there's a shelter. So my plan is maybe 3 times a week, take this 2-mile round trip hike, come here and pick the Labrador tea and have a hot cup of tea and then just sit and enjoy nature. And it'll be good for me and it'll be good for this creature here. So let's harvest some Labrador tea. Now, I've been told there's two different plants that look like Labrador tea, one of which is Labrador tea, and then the other is kind of poison. So a good way to ID the Labrador tea is that it's got this brown fuzz under the leaves. See that? That's your Labrador tea, and it's actually a type of rhododendron. And you can tell just looking at the way the plant grows that it grows really slowly. So I'm not going to take more than a couple leaves off any one plant. And I'll try to get away from the duck blind a little bit each time so that I'm not over harvesting in one area. We've also got some lovely red sphagnum moss here. And I've looked at the keys to ID sphagnum moss, but it's really complicated and you have to know up from down on your microscope. And I just haven't quite figured that one out yet. But the key for moss is a totally different language from the keys for all the other mosses. It's really tricky. So there's a lot of moss ID experts out there who can't ID sphagnum. It's just too tricky. Okay, let's grab some leaves then. And I don't know, you know what the right dose is, but here's one leaf. And we'll go over here and get a leaf from this plant. And a couple leaves from that plant, looks like. And then, I don't know, maybe 5 leaves, 8 leaves. Should I have a set amount? That's 5. Ooh, that one fell down. Okay, that's 5 leaves. Yeah, let's go for 8 leaves. 8 leaves. So, let's see. 6. 7. Maybe this is too many leaves. I don't know. Let's try to get the ones that are fuzzy and brown on the bottom, though, just to be on the safe side. 8, 9. There we go. 9 leaves. What you doing, Bella? Apparently there's chum salmon in here, and cutthroat and bass, but I don't know how to fish it because it's so weedy. I think any fish you caught would just get tangled up in the lily pads. This lake is slowly filling in. Won't be a lake much longer at all, really. I brought a thermos full of hot water with me, and I added just a little bit of sugar to it because I have a sweet tooth. So I'm just going to add these leaves in here and let them steep for a little while so I can get the compounds out of them. I read that a common name for this plant is Indian tea, and that the colonists, when they first arrived here, drank a lot of this because they didn't have access to the black tea from actual India. Not to be confused with Native Americans. And it might be bad for you if you drink too much of it, but other people say they drink it every day. There's just kind of a mixed opinion about it. So with everything, I'll just, do it in moderation. That's all you can do. She hears some birds over on the far shore, but she doesn't feel like swimming for them. She's going to stick to this side. She sure loves it here, though. Lots of things to sniff here, apparently. I don't think Bella could ever be the kind of dog that just sits in a duck blind and waits for the hunter to shoot a duck and then go get it. And that's not what she's bred and trained for. She's bred and trained to run around like crazy and make the birds fly up in the air so the hunters can shoot them. That's exactly what she did with that owl. On a clear day, you can see the Olympic Mountains over there. So it's been about 10 minutes and my water's got a little bit of color to it. So I think it's good enough, and now I'm just going to sit here and drink it and relax and take in the sights and sounds of nature. Cheers, everyone, and Happy New Year. Yeah, this was my plan. This is a lot more fun than standing here arguing with a duck hunter. So if I come down here and there's a hunter here in the future, I'll go to another spot where there's no view, but I can probably grab a few leaves for my tea anyway, but it's not going to be anywhere near as nice as being here. And then if it's raining, I can always sit in here, which is pretty cool. I find it kind of interesting that the duck hunter was over there facing the duck blind instead of hunting in the duck blind, but I'm sure he knows exactly what he's doing. So I'm going to read some text directly from Google's artificial intelligence on Labrador tea. Here are some tips for making Labrador tea. Water: use filtered or distilled water that is heated to between 90 and 95 degrees Celsius. Steep the tea for 5 to 10 minutes. Toxicity: Labrador tea is considered mildly toxic and should be consumed in small quantities. You should only drink 1 cup per day. Foraging: if you forage for Labrador tea leaves, check with your local park system for foraging rules. You should also avoid boiling the leaves and follow instructions carefully. I think you can boil them, but you don't want to boil them down too much. You can add Labrador tea to sorbets or sauces. To make iced tea, you can add a bit of sugar and lemon to your brewed tea. You won't need a ton. Now this is from penciltrex.com. You won't need a ton. Use about 8 to 10 leaves per cup of water. Okay, and that's exactly what I did. But it's up to you based on how strong you would like your tea to be. Add any optional items. We like to add in rose hips and or crushed berries, but you can add in any number of fruit, herbs, or teas. Okay, well, you know what? There are some rose hips just around the corner here, so maybe I'll add some of those next time for my vitamin C. And this actually tastes pretty strong with the 8 or so leaves I put in it. I might go for less leaves next time. So right in front of the duck blind is another plant which looks very much like bog laurel. It's got the same shaped leaves, but they don't have the brown fuzz on them, the tomentum, and the flowers look a little bit different. And iNaturalist has ID'd that as western bog laurel, Calmia microphylla. And that one is actually poisonous. So the way to stay safe out here is only harvest the leaves that have the fuzzy brown stuff on them, not the others. It grows in the same places. Calmia microphylla, known as alpine laurel, bog laurel, swamp laurel, western bog laurel, or western laurel, is a species of Calmia belonging to the Ericaceae family. It is native to North America and can be found throughout the western U.S. and western central Canada below the subarctic. And the range map shows it has most definitely been found in the vicinity. The species page for this plant on Wikipedia, it says that Calmisias are very poisonous plants containing grainotoxin, and it has also been used for medicinal purposes in creating external washes for skin diseases. So definitely have to be careful out here. They're characterized as being short shrubs that have a maximum height of 24 inches, and their growth rarely surpasses 6 feet. Yeah, this is about 5 feet. The plant is easily mistaken for another bog laurel because of the similar characteristics of their flowers. It can be distinguished by their clusters of pink or purple bell-shaped flowers. Well, there's no flowers out here this time of year. The flowers are held within 5 fused petals that open in the shape of a cup. The plant produces green fruits, which are small and hard in form. Fruits are 5-parted capsules. The leaves of this plant are oppositely attached and are not deciduous. Leaves are distinctly lanceolate in shape, with rolled leaf edges, a leathery texture, and dark green color. The plant's branches and twigs are fuzzy in the early growth, and then during maturity become smooth and reddish brown to grayish in color. Yeah, if I got this right, you got to be really careful. The ones that have these type of flowers on them, I think, are the toxic plant. And these never have the fuzzy brown leaves. But growing right next to it is the one with the fuzzy brown leaves that is okay. And it doesn't have that same type of flower on top. It's got this kind of flower. So I need to be very, very careful and not use any leaves out here unless they have that distinctive brown fuzz underneath them. I'm sinking in the bog. What have we got here? Could this be a wild cranberry? So here's what to look out for. The mildly poisonous one, or maybe really poisonous depending on what part of the world it's growing in, is this one here with no fuzz on the leaves, and you can really see a distinct costa, although I don't know if it's called a costa in a plant leaf. Maybe I think it's called the midvein. I'm used to moss, and a moss, that would be the costa. And then here's the actual Labrador tea. It's got all that fuzz. You can't really even see the midvein. And it's a little bit pointier and a little bit browner on the top and a little bit more narrow. So definitely got to be really careful out here. I'm not sure how poisonous this one out here is, though, because I just read that cases of poisoning from this are mostly in like Turkey, in that region of the world, where they actually use it as a recreational drug. If you have honey made from it, they call it mad honey. And apparently people have used it as a drug. Interesting stuff. I don't know if that poisoning actually happens in this part of the world, but still, it's a good idea to be careful. And they grow just right next to each other, so definitely got to be very careful out here harvesting these. See, there's the bog laurel with the fuzzy underside and the darker leaves and that kind of flower. Right next to it is this other one, this poisonous, non-fuzzy leaves, a little bit different kind of flower. And this one seems to grow just a little bit taller. The Kalmia or whatever seems to grow just a little bit taller than the Labrador tea. Got to be so careful out here. And please don't take my advice for eating anything. Do your own research. So hopefully I didn't get any Kalmia leaves mixed in with this. I think I was careful, but I see one on the bottom that I think might be that Kalmia. Yeah. So I got one that wasn't fuzzy there, so guess what? I'm not going to drink my tea. Yeah, there's one right there. I'm sure I'll be fine because that would be such a tiny dose, and the ones here probably don't have that much poison in them, but not going to risk it. So, no tea today. I guess we'll have to try this again some other day. Wow. Live and learn. I'm glad my friend warned me about the fuzzy-leaved Labrador tea and then the non-fuzzy leaved poisonous stuff. So I'm not going to drink that tea because it had that one leaf in it. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go out here and try this again, being extra careful to get the right plant. This is the wrong plant. And those dark leaves seem to kind of be key. When you see the dark leaves, I think you always find the fuzz underneath. Yeah. So I'll look for the darker leaves. And I'll grab a few of these leaves to take home. And I can have my tea at home today. I mean, I could take a bunch to have tea at home all the time, but the point here is to get out and get moving and have something to look forward to on my walk. So I'll just take enough for one cup of tea here. Yeah, it caught my eye. I thought I had one leaf that wasn't fuzzy, and then I got worried and did some research, and I shared my research with you. Gotta get them fuzzy leaves. And this flower, not this flower, growing right next to it. You gotta be so careful out here. Okay, just a couple more leaves here of the fuzzy variety. All fuzzy. Couple more here. There we go. Got the fuzz. Okay. All right. I will slip this into my pocket and I'll wait till I get home to have tea. And I will be much more careful out here. I didn't realize that they grew so intermixed. I knew they grew kind of in the same area, but I had no idea they were so intermixed. So here's more of that red berry, which is not part of the Kalmia. I'm not sure what it is. Could it be a wild cranberry? I need to find out. Let's see if iNaturalist can tell us. According to iNaturalist, this red berry here is Vaccinium oxycoccus. I think cranberries are in the Vaccinium family. Let's look at the species page and see if this is a cranberry. View species. Bog cranberry. There we go. We do have cranberries. Vaccinium oxycoccus is a species of flowering plant in the heath family. It is known by the common name small cranberry, bog cranberry, swamp cranberry, or particularly in Britain and the Netherlands, just cranberry. It is widespread throughout the cold temperate northern hemisphere, including northern Europe, northern Asia, and northern North America. Very cool. So we've got cranberries. Awesome. I'm going to do a little bit more research before I decide tasting them, though. I never eat anything based just on what iNaturalist says. Yeah, these are edible. The berries of Vaccinium oxycoccus are edible and have been used as both medicine and as food by various Native American communities. Some Inupiat cook the cranberry with fish eggs and blubber. Doesn't that sound delicious? Not. There's very few of these here, though. I'm not going to pick them. Well, I might pick one just to taste, but other than that, I wouldn't bother. There's just not enough to deal with. Bella, where'd you go? You got to be careful walking out here in the bog. You don't want to sink and become a bog body. Maybe I'll talk about that on another video. Come on, Bella, let's go. Let's go home and have some tea. Well, we had a much better time down here today. No duck hunter. Nice and peaceful, and almost poisoned myself but didn't. No, I don't think I even came close to poisoning myself with just one leaf in my tea. But why risk it? Ready to go, sweetheart? Let's go. I'm going to grab a few rose hips here that I can also add to my tea. There's a fair amount of them here, but they're kind of hard to reach. I'll just grab a few. So, I don't know how many videos I'll make of this 3 times a week dog walk. I could make a video every day, but people might get bored. But then again, sometimes boring is good. Sometimes I just like to turn on YouTube and just have it going in the background, so it doesn't really matter too much what's playing as long as it's not filled with obnoxious sounds like airplanes or leaf blowers. Well, maybe I could highlight a different plant out here each day. I could research a new plant each day and highlight it. Obviously, the plant of today was not really Labrador tea. It turned out to be Kalmia, or however it's pronounced. I know a lot of words that I have no idea how to pronounce because I learned them by reading. And I'm sure if you've been watching my videos for very long, you'll notice I have some kind of strange ways of pronouncing things. That was a lot more fun than last time, and I think we'll do this a few more times. And Bella agrees. She loves coming here because she doesn't have to ride in the car to come here. She hates riding in the car. I don't know why, but she just hates it. It's really hard to get Bella in the car. So thank you for watching our little adventure today, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.